A better deal, better skills, better jobs, better wages. That sounds like is going to be the new slogan Democrats are going to unveil later today.
Week after week, month after month, we're going to roll out specific pieces here that are quite different than the Democratic Party you heard in the past. We were too cautious. We were too namby-pamby.
But tell that to the voters who still say Democrats are more focused on resistance against this president. Democratic Congressman David Cicilline has spent the last few months hashing out the new agenda, and he joins us live from our nation's capital. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Is that going to be the new slogan?
Well, you're going to see this afternoon the Democrats will release our agenda. That agenda is really a better deal for the American people. It's better jobs, better wages, a better future. And it's really focused on how we raise people's incomes. You know, folks are struggling. We want to be sure that we have proposals that will raise their incomes, that will reduce the cost of their expenses, their daily expenses, and prepare them for jobs of the 21st century. It's very much focused on a recognition that, you know, Americans haven't been getting a good deal, that the system is rigged against them. They're working hard. They're not getting ahead. And we really want to focus on things that are going to raise their incomes, create good-paying jobs, address some of the fundamental challenges they face in their daily lives. And so we're going to announce that agenda today, and then over the next several months put forth very specific proposals that will support that agenda.
Okay. Well, when you talk about the system rigged against them, you know, there's been, until 6 months ago, there was a Democrat in the White House for 8 years before that. So essentially, you're taking a shot at the previous administration.
Yeah, no, the system is rigged against hardworking people. We have multinational corporations that have a tax code that gives them tax breaks for shipping jobs overseas, and that hurts American workers. We have a tax code that gives subsidies to fossil fuel companies. People understand there's secret money being spent in our elections to advance the interests of powerful corporations.
You're starting to sound like Bernie Sanders, just saying.
No, look, I think the recognition is people know the system isn't working right, that the economy is not working for them, that there are too many powerful lobbyists and special interests in Washington who are getting their way and not benefiting the American people. So a better deal is about working on behalf of hardworking Americans who are getting a raw deal from a rigged system, and we're committed to making sure we create good economic opportunities, good paying jobs, making sure folks that can afford child care and have paid family leave and reduce some of the expenses in their lives, and also be sure they have the skills and training to prepare for the jobs of the 21st century. So we listened a lot in this process. Our colleagues went out and were certain to listen to their constituents all across this country, and this is a bold economic agenda which I think will address the needs of working people.
Chuck Schumer was on, I believe, speaking to the Washington Post on Saturday, and he said Democrats need to take responsibility. Hillary Clinton lost the election, he said, and rather than blame Comey and Russia, et cetera, time to move on. That's really what you guys are doing, isn't it?
Well, look, I think this is absolutely the case, that Democrats, we all own this. We all have some responsibility for not effectively communicating our agenda to the American people. This is an opportunity for us to work together, House and Senate Democrats, craft a very bold agenda that came really from the American people through our constituents. You know, what they saw as their priorities. And, of course, the ongoing investigations and all the conflict of interest, all that stuff is important, but we can do two things at once. While we pay attention to that, we really need to focus on addressing the economic anxiety of Americans all across this country.
Which is how Donald Trump, many say, was able to carve out the presidency.
Well, that's how he spoke about those things. What I think you're going to see different in the Democratic agenda are action steps we'll take that actually will respond
Congressman,
to those
I think
anxieties.
he's trying to get something done in Washington, but Congress is slow to help him, including the Republicans. Before you go, though, I know you were in on the new slogan, better jobs, better wages, better future. You realize online people are saying, you know, that sounds an awful lot like the Papa John's commercial. You know that, right?
Well, of course. Look, better is, there's no trademark on the word better from Papa John's, of course. And obviously, they don't have an economic agenda. This is an agenda that is about raising people's incomes, about making sure we reduce the expenses in their lives and prepare them for the jobs and the changing economy of the 21st century. This is a strong economic agenda. Last time I checked, Papa John's doesn't have an economic agenda.
But Papa John Podesta does, just saying. So, anyway.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Congressman David Cicilline from the great state of Rhode Island, a Democrat.